Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to Phatkat Collections. Not going to beat around the bush. Got another awesome audio slash hi-fi product for you folks today. And this is a device by Fossi Audio. Let's take a look at what we got. So today, we're not going to spend a lot of time on the box. You guys know it's a cardboard box. We don't need to waste too much time on that. The device, though, is the LC30. An incredible VU meter by Fossi. Now, if you're not familiar with Fossi, they basically make really affordable, what I would consider, again, the word high-end is extremely subjective, right? There's audio equipment out there that costs thousands upon hundreds of thousands of dollars. At the end of the day, I kind of feel like you have to be a little bit, forgive me, I don't want to offend anybody. Always buy what makes you happy. But I feel like you have to be a little bit delusional to think that you're going to spend $40,000 on a Macintosh amp and think that the difference is going to be night and day. Now, I know some of you hardcore hi-fi guys will probably tell me I'm wrong in that, but, you know, it is subjective. And when I listen to super high-end audio, and again, I'm not going, I don't have Macintosh, so just give me a, take this with a grain of salt. When you look at what those devices cost, I know I have the $1,000 amplifier by Kenwood. And I know some of you guys who are high-end nuts will be like, oh, dude, that's garbage, and whatever, right? But when I kind of dumb it down and simplify it, when I compare my $2,000 acoustic research speakers on that $1,000 receiver I got back in the day, compared to these modern Chinese branded companies like Fossi Audio, I really think it's just a waste of money to spend tons of money on super high-end stuff. I think you can get a lot of enjoyment, a lot of bang for your buck without breaking the bank. Now, again, it's your money. Always, buy what makes you happy. I think part of the allure with brands like Macintosh is they are incredibly sexy looking. They really are. And to use the word sexy to describe audio equipment, I think that's kind of one of the few brands that you can kind of get away with saying that. So what I like about this is that this is another component that really, will step up your, I think, visual aesthetics of your inexpensive audio system. So here it is. So this is something that you're going to see on a lot of vintage amplifiers. This is a VU meter. And so this is, of course, nothing, I don't think anybody's going to sit around with a clipboard and watch this bounce around, but it's really just for really cool aesthetics. It's a feature that I know, like, Lincoln has a collaboration with Macintosh, so they're integrating some Macintosh audio into some of their cars, and their dashboard, I think, is arguably the best looking dashboard of any car out there, in my opinion. Those two VU meters in that kind of cool, aqua glow, really just hits it home for me. Like, it's absolutely stunning. So this is what you can add to your system to get that look. Now, this is more than just a simple VU meter. You do have dual VU meters, of course, but what makes this interesting is that you have the ability to hook up two amplifiers and two sets of speakers. So who would use this, right? I think somebody who's looking to kind of compare, if you are a guy who really, and for you guys who are into audio already, this is probably not a surprise to you seeing something like this. But for the guys who are looking to add a set, 2 amps, 2 speakers, and want to kind of have the fun of testing between the two really rapidly, right? You could switch between speaker A and B, you can compare amplifiers. So if you are a YouTuber who's into audio and you do review this stuff, you can do side-by-side comparisons. Let me just put this down for a second. We'll come back to this. I think, though, at the end of the day, it is so subjective just because a really well-known audio guy who's well-respected in the audio community tells you that this sounds better to him, it doesn't mean it's going to sound better to you. But I can assure you this will look cool as hell. Now, I do have some I don't really consider them complaints. We're going to talk about the features of this here, but I don't really think, let me hit you first the features, right? So you have dual VU meters left and right. You have a knob here, and this is going to control, I believe, how much these needles bounce around. It does come with a remote control. Pretty straightforward. You can select amp, you can select speakers, you can change the illumination, and you have what I believe to be a volume button. So some of the other brands out there do not attenuate. I think this is an attenuation knob. Now you can set this up a couple different ways. I have a competitor's unit downstairs that I currently just have using the onboard microphone, and I think this has this. We'll double check. Whereas if you don't want to hook up the speaker outputs on the back, you can still have the aesthetics of the needles bouncing around. It's just going to pick it up through a microphone. So that means your voice as well, TV, whatever. So To me, it's not too important to have this be super realistic, but they look awesome just kind of bouncing around, right? Again, you have the AB speakers, you have the AB amplifier speaker 1 and 2, we have a power button, and of course the knob. Pretty simple. Let me just read you what this mentions on. This is directly off their Amazon listing. And as always, link is in the description to pick this up. Price on it only $149, 10% off. Pretty awesome. It says vintage elegance, perfect way to describe this. The LC30 boosts dual large view meters. It has complete with adjustable brightness of 5 levels, and it has 2 inputs and 2 outputs. Again, 2 speakers, 2 amplifiers in, enabling for 4 distinct configurations beyond its functional power. Above and beyond, it's a built-in switch, basic, right? It stands for, again, this is some of the wording here with their right up here, but it's a decorative VU meter, right? So it says it'll support a wide range of amplifiers. I'm not sure what the actual, let me see here. It says here, here's where, so let's say you have some really big amps, right? This will support up to 250 power transmission per channel. It looks like 390 ohms protective load resistors. Again, more of the technical stuff I'm not gonna bore you with, but it's beautiful. It looks like aircraft grade aluminum, I think is what it says here. Or all aluminum alloy, excuse me, for durability. That's kind of like, what I mean, this is going to sit on your dresser or on your audio shelf. It's nothing really to write home about with durability, but it is nice construction, right? You have all your outputs and inputs on the back here. Again, what you have, amplifier A, B, speakers 1 and 2, red and black, of course, for positive, negative. That's about it. Really simple hookup. I'm not seeing anything here on the microphone. This one you might have to actually hook up to your speakers. So some of the competitor brands, you can actually not hook it up to speakers, they just have those needles bounce around. This one you will have to hardwire based on this description. But that's about it. So let me hit you with a couple negatives about this here. So, and again, this is, I'm going to say this kind of, these are very small gripes. You don't have adjustable color, so this is going to bounce around with that just standard vintage orange. Some of the competitor brands out there allow you to change the color to whatever you want, which I think would be a great addition for this because a lot of people want that Macintosh look, that kind of, and a lot of people don't, but if you were going for that Macintosh look with that kind of teal, kind of cool glow, this is just going to give you that warm amber color, which is still nice too, don't get me wrong, but I would like to see the ability to adjust the LED color. Also with this, a lot of people buying this, I don't know, and again, I'm speaking just on my opinion here, I don't know if most people are buying this for the ability to hook up 2 amps and 2 sets of speakers. I can see kind of the allure with hooking up 1 amp and 2 sets of speakers if you could run both sets, but this is going to allow you to switch between the two. It's not like a switch that'll keep the impedance the same. So if you hook up 2 8-ohm sets of speakers, you're going to actually go put a 4-ohm load on the amp. Now, a lot of the Fossi products will support 4-ohm loads, but of course, it would be nice if you could actually run both speakers A and B and have a consistent 8-ohm or selectable 4-ohm load on your amplifier based on your choice. That is something they can do. They just don't, of course. So again, just a very small gripe. I mentioned these things, so maybe the company will do improvements down the road for features that people might want a little more. I'd like the ability to basically run both speakers at the same time. And of course, I don't really think you need to have dual inputs. Now, this is a specific device for A and B testing, amplifier 1 and 2 testing, but a lot of folks who are buying this are just really buying it for the coolness. So I think they should make a new model that's focusing strictly on the coolness. And I think it would be great to have that adjustable LED, have 1 amp input, but maybe multiple speaker outputs where somebody could actually use this for maybe multi-room audio. I know it's not really its design, but I can see myself wanting to put 2 sets of speakers and have them both on at the same time, right? That's kind of, a little overkill, not really necessary, but what else? I think this would be great if they did something in like a gold to really keep it vintage, and maybe the addition of some other kind of graphs or something on here, meters on here, right? But overall, I mean, it's an awesome product. It's very well made. It looks great. These are just some ideas I have. If I was actually designing something like this, I would absolutely love to see something again, just with some of the features that I look for in some of the products, right? But overall, this is an incredible design. Let me just show you a couple close-ups here. Very cool. Now, it is a USB-C input connection. They do give you the cable, but they don't give you the wall charger. And this is something I'm going to keep harping on and griping about forever, because it's just annoying to me that somebody who buys this, who's all excited to get it, is going to get it home, pull it out of the box, and then say, oh, I don't have a power adapter. And this needs a 5-volt power adapter. So most modern cell phones have those, but you will want to make sure you're running the 5-volt power adapter. Why not include it? Charge $5 more and include it. I think people who are interested in this are going to pay $5 more to have the adapter built in. So that's kind of something that annoys me with many, many brands out there. But hey, it is what it is. If you do buy this with the link in the description, pick it up, add it to your home system. By all means, you can, make sure you buy a power adapter as well. I'm just going to plug it in for a second here. See if I got a cord long enough here. I don't know if I do. This is going to be kind of a stretch here, but actually I don't know if this is there we go. So you can kind of see, let me just turn the camera a little bit here. There we go. So you can see that bright amber color, very cool, and you just basically press the middle button to change the illumination. You can turn it off or on. And you get around here so you can see it a little better. So very cool, super bright. I mean, this sucker gets bright. And let me just see if there is, I'm not seeing no ability to have it use a microphone. So that's okay, not a big deal. All right, so let me just unplug it so we can show you guys some more close-ups here. So a couple additions I think would be awesome on this is to have a combination spectrum analyzer. It's amazing that back in the day I used to have a DAC, not digital analog converter, but it was a brand DAC, I think it was. Pretty sure it was a DAC. I had a spectrum analyzer and it used a microphone, and I don't know, I threw the thing away because it stopped working, and I just should have tried to fix it or have it fixed, because now those things are really hard to come by. So in the market of audio, a lot of people really like that vintage look. I love seeing a spectrum analyzer. So I think it'd be great to have maybe a second edition here, maybe a VU meter if they want to make a separate product altogether, and then a nice spectrum analyzer giving you that old school look. Put a microphone in it, or of course, RCA inputs to have you be able to have it analyze the signal. But I think really just having a built-in mic. You could use speaker connections as well, but then you'll have to jump between the two devices if you want to do that. Or it'd be great to have an all-in-one product like this if they were to make this maybe a little bit taller, maybe a little wider. One thing I noticed when I put a couple competitor amps, and I'm hoping Fossi, when they reached out to collaborate, they did want to send me one of their new version amps. I forget exactly which one, but it's a mono amp and I wanted to run two, and they were only willing to send one product at a time. So stay tuned. I think we're going to work together some more. I really look forward to featuring their products. It's a brand, since I've been reviewing audio components on this channel, I like the hybrid tube amps and stuff you've seen already by Dayton, IEMA, brands like that. I've been really wanting to get them on the channel, and I think their products are awesome. But I haven't really heard any of their audio products. So this is awesome the way it looks. It's cool. It's going to look awesome on my bedroom system, where I'm going to match it up with a couple IEM amps. But one thing I've noticed is a lot of the competitor amplifiers, and even their amps, I think, if you stack two of them on this, I think they're going to overhang. So that's something that they really should kind of keep in mind. And they may already, I could be wrong in this, but when they're designing stuff like this, to kind of think about people, their components are generally small form factor, is to think about the people who are going to stack these, right? It'd be really great if they made a very small version, skinny version, to match their amplifier, so you have a nice small stack of components that all match up. But again, we'll find out. I hope this is not the last product that they're going to send me. I really look forward to reviewing more of their products, like their amplifiers. This is a great brand, a great company, and I'm really fortunate that they wanted to collaborate with Phatkat Collections. I mean, pretty incredible. And for 150 bucks, I mean, now let's talk about if you have, and I want to throw some ideas out here. Let's say you have standard size components, larger components. So you will have to kind of take measurement to see how this is going to stack up. I think, this is kind of something that is its own size. So you might have to get a little bit creative. I'd almost recommend, if you are using larger components, like standalone large, standard size components, or full size, we'll call them. It might be good to order 2 of these so you can have that balanced look, but again, it depends on your system. I would also like to see Fossi come out with something that's like a small, inexpensive audio rack, so you can start to separate these in a nice clean way. If you traditionally look at audio component racks, they're going to be the large floor standing ones. So it would be really nice to have some sort of like dresser models that allow you to stack their components and give you a nice clean small form factor look without having to like find something or build something. So just my 2 cents. But I want to thank Fossi again for their generosity in collaborating Fat Cat Collections. As always, I'm going to put the Fossi link in description and the Amazon purchase page from Fossi direct on Amazon. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I will come back and re-review this with music playing. I just didn't want to do that for the purpose of this video to get demonetized on the particular. I'll have to find some, royalty-free audio to play through it. But you guys have seen, I would think, seen VU meters before. They're awesome, and it's a great way to add some vintage styling and some class, I think, to your system. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and take care.